What up, best friends? Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a reconstruction revamp video for you guys. These are wigs that I received from one of my customers who buy wigs from me all the time. Now these wigs are old, like super duper old, when I was hand stitching long time ago, and she still had them. They look raggedy, but they're still in somewhat great condition. They just need a little bit of TLC. This is a water wave wig. It was about 24, 26 inches. I'm not sure. But these are closure units. And as you can see, she wore these wigs, okay? So because she, is a great customer to me, she asked me if I could, try to repair them for her. And I told her to let me see them. And so when I saw them, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I could do this. So this is wig 1 and this is wig 2, a body wave unit. This is still a full unit, meaning I didn't have to add any more bundles to it. She could salvage the bundles that she had. I did tell her that she would, if she wanted to keep these wigs and these bundles, then I would have to reconstruct these wigs for her on the sewing machine so they could last longer for her. But she did a great job with care, and for her lace to only look like this, even though it looks crazy, it's in great condition. So what we're going to do today is we're going to revamp these wigs. Okay, so step 1 would be removing the closure or the frontal that is on this wig. So because this is a hand stitch wig, you definitely want to be careful as to how you cut off this closure. Now this is a 4x4 closure, water wave, and it's about 18 or 20 inches. I didn't know which one it was, so basically I replaced it with a 20-inch water wave closure from my specific brand of hair that I sell to customers that buys wigs from me. Okay, so now this wig is a water wave wig, and it has like knots and dreads and stuff like this in here. So I'm being rough trying to separate the closure from the rest of the bundles because we have to cut this closure off. And because this is a hand stitched wig, you want to make sure you leave a little bit of the lace left behind, because that last track that's on this wig and that closure are connected to each other. So if you was to cut that closure all the way off or all the lace off, you would be basically unraveling the wig. All right, so if you use the sewing machine, you wouldn't have to worry about that. You could cut all the lace off. But in this situation, I'm going to leave a tiny bit of lace left on this wig just so it won't unravel. So basically I'm just going to cut off this closure, and you're going to see just a little bit of that beigey color of the lace left around there. And all you do is just clean up the closure area so you can just basically go in and reinstall a new closure. So now I'm just going through and just cleaning up the open space area just to take off the excessive fabric so I could sit the new closure in and I wouldn't have any problems. So this is the closure I'm going to be using. This is a 20-inch water wave closure, medium lace, and this is the body wave for the next wig. But this is a 4x4. You definitely need to understand that you have to use the same size closure that you used originally. So if you use a 4x4 closure, you need to use a 4x4 closure when you're replacing it. If you use the 5x5, you need to use a 5x5 when you're replacing it. You cannot interchange your size of your closure because that hole right there fits that specific size. Okay, if you wanted to go bigger, you're just gonna have to absolutely remake your entire wig. Now some people could say like, oh, you could salvage those closures. Girl, no, those closures was balding to the point where it was just like, you need to replace this. And I told her, after these closures get worn out, girl, you either need to decide if you're gonna want new wigs or if you want to have these wigs remade for you. And again, that is a different service, because I will have to take the entire wig apart and put it back together, and then also adding another new closure to the scenario. So then she could decide if she wants to change it into a frontal or into a bigger closure or whatever. So it will be up to her to decide that. So I'm putting the closure in, and I'm working from the back to the front, meaning I'm putting the back of the closure, the U part, in first, and then I'm aligning the ends up with each other. Now remember, I always like to have maybe a ½ inch or inch of lace in front of my closure, because I like to go on and pre-plug, and it just looks better when your closure is laying down, so you won't see those seams on the side. So that's just a whole different video. I was about to cuss. That's just a whole different video of, you know, how to make a wig. So, and I will definitely go through that coming up. So there's videos. All right, so I have my closure pinned down and it's ready to be sewed. You guys, I love to use nylon thread. Nylon thread lasts way longer than cotton. Cotton tends to tangle up a lot, and I don't care for it, and it tends to break fast, so like your wig will typically fall apart, and nylon just works better in my sewing machine. All right, so I am going to take my curved needle and my nylon thread, and I am going to thread my needle, and I am going to knot my thread at the end. Okay, I have to say that because on one of my videos, on a lot of my videos, you guys ask me, well, my thread keeps slipping out. Girl, you gotta knot that thing. Knot it a couple of times so it won't slip out. All right, so now we at the part where we are going to just basically sew your closure to your wig. All right, so you want to go through the actual cap and the weft and through the lace of the lace seam of the closure, so you can connect both of them together so it can be sturdy. All right, and so what I like to do is I like to go in, and then I like to go in again through all three of those, the lace, the weft, and the actual cap, and I like to wrap it around my needle a couple of times, the thread, and I like to knot it, and I do that maybe 3 or 4 times in the beginning of the closure, just to make sure that it is completely secured and adhered to your wig, because you do not want that thing to fall apart when you're wearing it. Girl, trust me, you don't. So basically after that, then I'll just go through and I will sew normally until I get to the other side, and then I'll do the same thing, like knotting my stitch when I'm almost at the end of my sewing of the closure or the frontal. All right, what else? I typically I went back and went through this with my sewing machine, but if you don't want to use a sewing machine and you're just replacing it by hand, you want to just make sure that you are sewing this in nice. All right, because you want to make sure it's super secure. Me going over this with my sewing machine will make sure that this does not fall apart whatsoever. So you just have to just make sure that you're sewing very well, very close together when you are doing this, if you're only hand stitching. So we are already at like 8 minutes into this video. This video is definitely going to be long, so I apologize, but I just feel like you guys need to see this because you guys had a lot of questions about this. All right, so after that, I'm going to cut the needle off the thread, and the remainder of the thread I'm going to knot like 3 times, just to also secure that it does not unravel. I cut the excessive thread off, and this is what I am left with, a very secure closure on my wig. All right, so this thing is not going anywhere. After this, I did put it through my sewing machine. I'm not showing that because it's just, we're just going to continue by hand. And this is wig number 2, the body wave unit. As you can see, it looks the exact same way as the first one. It is balding, so we're going to separate the closure from the actual wig, and we're going to cut it off and replace it. Alright, so you could tell that this lace is already brassy. That's because I already bleached it. So I'm going to go ahead and bleach this one. This is Quick Blue with 30 volume developer. I have a scoop, and so I'm going to just let it process for about 15 minutes. Come check on it and see if it needs to sit longer. And then I'm going to wash it with purple shampoo. And while I'm washing it with purple shampoo, I'm going to deep condition it with silicone mix. And let these two wigs sit under the dryer for about 30 minutes, and then rinse it out. So I'm gonna show you the transformation. So I left my bleach on about 20 minutes, but do not go by how long I leave bleach on my unit. You need to watch your own units to see how it processes, because 20 minutes could be too much for you or too less for you when it comes to processing. So you need to watch yours. Different elements will make your bleach speed up or slow down. So that's the reason why I'm saying you need to watch yours, and do not ask like a content creator how long they left bleach on their hair. So like the heat in my home can make my bleach speed up or slow down, like if I have a fan on and things like that. Like, so you just need to watch your products that you are processing with a chemical. Watch it. All right. So as you guys can see, this hair had dreadlocks in it, and I washed it with purple shampoo to get the brassiness out of the knots, and then I washed the hair with Garnier Fructis, and then I deep conditioned with silicone mix. And silicone mix has so much slip, it will help you detangle your hair super duper fast, and it's not hard to do it. Like, it's just effortless, and I love it. So this is what the wigs look like after, okay? Like they have been revamped. I did go in and customize them a bit. I did not go and plug her hairline a lot, because obviously, like, she does a lot of manipulation to her hairline, and so she does not need a super plucked hairline. So I lightly plucked it, and I lightly gave her baby hairs, and that was it. Any other styling is going to come from her. But these are the revamped wigs. There are no more tangles in these wigs. There are no dreads in these wigs. I hope this video helped you guys with, just how to remove closures and frontals. You do the same thing for a closure. You do the same thing for a frontal. All right? Until next time, bye, best friends.